What's going on? Thanks for checking in. Hey, I know a lot of you guys have showcases coming up this summer, so today we're gonna hack the 60. All right, first off, a little background. I like to think of myself as an expert of hacking the 60-yard dash. All right, I myself, when I was going through the recruiting process, I was able to get on paper that I ran a 6'9", 60-yard dash, and I had no business doing that. I was 225 pounds, 5'9", and the keys to my success in the 60 all came from the start and from the acceleration. People think that they can improve their top speed, so once they get out, 20 or so yards, they think that they spend all their time on improving that top speed. Listen, your top speed is your top speed. Don't even bother with that, because Olympic sprinters train for 4 years for one race in their top speed mechanic. So to think that we're gonna correct that in one little summer, there's no way. So we need to spend all of the time on the start and that first 10 yards. All right, first off, have my guy Joe. I've never cued him on the 60-yard dash before, so I'm gonna have him run one based off his own knowledge. We're gonna get a time on it. This is roughly 10 or 15 yards. Then we're gonna come back, I'm gonna coach him up and run another one to see how much he improves. Good. Hey, so with this distance, we're at a 2:15, okay? First off, with the start, Joe, go ahead and get into the start you just were doing. Okay, so the biggest mistake, number one, if we're breaking this down, is not presetting the hips open, all right? Why you wanna do that is because if kids start with their hips closed off, you have to open your hips and then start the 60-yard dash. So breaking it down into two moves is a lot more time than one. So start with these hips pre-open. Good, point that front toe towards the lane that you're running at, and then this back toe, you can go ahead and creep in. Why you do that is because it already opens up the hips linear style towards your target. I've been to a lot of showcases. I have never ever seen a coach say, hey, nah, you're cheating it too much. Get back in it, line more bladed off. They're simply not gonna do that with all the kids that run it through. So cheat this angle as much as you can get away with, all right? From here, after this stance is right, the second biggest mistake that I see is gaze. Your body follows your eyes. So I've seen kids run 60-yard dashes, they're weaving. The closest distance between 2 points is a straight line. If you're weaving, that's just time adding to the clock, right? So you gotta make sure you're running a straight line, body follows the eyes. So the gaze, you should be peeking down at the cone that you're running for, okay? So instead of looking right here in your stance, just peek down at the cone. They go on your first move. Stare at that cone, stare at the point you wanna be, okay? So say it's that cone, stare at that cone. From there, draw your gaze down to around 10 yards right out in front of you. So peek at the cone, now gaze 10 yards right in front of you. What this is gonna do is put your gaze low, so instead of popping up out of the start, the gaze is already presetting you, so you go low into proper acceleration mechanics, right? And then number three, another big mistake that I see is guys not driving off of both feet in the 60-yard dash. They either pull through with the front leg or they just push off the back. They need to act equal and opposites, okay? The back leg needs to push at the same time as the front leg pulls. So now, instead of getting just single leg explosive power into the start, you get both of them. So if the ground wasn't here, you had no friction, it would create torque and you would spin. So front or back leg drives, front leg pulls. So it would look like, it would look like that. That's the torque you're trying to create off this start. All right, so now I'm gonna have Joe redo it with these 3 coaching cues and we'll see what his time is. All right, get into the start. Good, cheating that front hip wide open, toes pointed towards our target, cheating this back foot. Even cheat it a little more, dude. Get out towards me. Yeah, that's money. That's money. All right, get the gaze to that cone. I know it's only 15, it's not 60. Gaze to the cone. Now create gaze around this area. Hinge back a tad. You're gonna look, you're gonna dive into that area and naturally climb into acceleration. Drive off 2 legs here, Joe, when you're ready. .196. So we just instantly went from a 215 to a 1.96 just by hacking the start. Like I said before, don't spend too much time on your top speed, so after 20 yards, okay? You're not gonna improve that this summer. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's the skill side, okay? Make sure you hone in that start because that's gonna accumulate over that 60 yards. All right, so to recap, go ahead and add those tips in on your showcase day, right? Nail down your start. Start with your hips pre-open, get your gaze right, and then explode off 2 legs, okay? Then to take it one step further, start timing the hack guy. Timing his drops, 1001, 1002, so you can get a head start. Lastly, before you hit the 60-yard marker, I'm telling you, do a little grunt, make a little noise before that 5-yard marker, before that 60-yard marker, so it cues the guy to stop the watch a little bit sooner. Now, once you get that good 60-yard dash in the system, say you're doing these perfect game showcases, okay? They keep all that data. So you flash 1, 6'9", 6'8", you're good. You're in the system as a 6'8", 6'9" runner. All right, you did everything you needed to do. Now, it's kind of like a bit schemy, it's kind of a bit shady, but like I've said, I've been around college baseball. The majority of college baseball coaches I don't respect. I know the 60-yard dash is a terrible test, and it's held to way high of a standard. So, once you get that 6'9", I really recommend going to, the next showcase. You're already in the system. Maybe say, hey, coach, I don't feel like running the 60 today. I've been dealing with maybe a little calf, maybe a little hamstring issue, okay? Nothing crazy. So now you don't have to do the 60-yard dash that day. You can just go right into BP, right into throwing. And if a college scout asks, hey, why didn't this guy do a 60? What was it before? You can say, hey, he ran a 6'9" in our system. So then you're good to go. All right, hey, if you want to learn